These ceremonies, often an opportunity to recognize outstanding achievements of many people. To begin our recognition today, we will confer a Nebraska Builder Award. This award has been given by the University of Nebraska since May of 1946 to individuals who have displayed exceptional service to Nebraska and the university. Dr. Ronnie Green, will you please escort our recipient, Mr. Lance Morgan, to the podium and introduce him to the audience.
Chancellor Perlman, it is my honor to present Mr. Lance Morgan for a Nebraska Builder Award. Mr. Morgan is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Ho-Chunk Incorporated, the award-winning economic development corporation owned by the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska. Mr. Morgan earned a bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Nebraska and graduated from Harvard Law School in 1993. He is also the managing partner in the law firm of Fredericks, Peebles, and Morgan. He has served as economic advisor to the Bureau of Indian Affairs in our national government and was a member of the Federal Reserve Consumer Advisory Committee. Mr. Morgan was selected as a Champion of Change honoree by the White House and President Barack Obama. He is a frequent speaker across the country on topics such as Indian law and tribal economic development issues. It is my honor, Chancellor, to present Mr. Lance Morgan for the Builder Award.
In honor of his visionary leadership and economic development of the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska, in admiration of his commitment of service to the state of Nebraska, and in recognition of his extensive volunteer and community activities, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln is pleased to confer upon Lance Morgan its highest award for distinguished service, the title of Nebraska Builder, and commends him to the highest regard of his fellow citizens. I now invite Mr. Morgan to deliver the commencement address. He has titled his address, "The Best Advice I Ever Got." Please welcome Lance Morgan.
First of all, I'd like to thank the University of Nebraska for giving me the award. I can assure you, I didn't see it coming. In 1986, I loaded up a friend of mine's car with a laundry basket, a duffel bag, a mini fridge, and a boom box, and about 7 cassette tapes. And you guys may not know what those are. But I had it in my car because I only had an AM radio. So when you do that sort of thing, you're embarking on sort of a journey that you don't know. I loved the University of Nebraska. I've had a fantastic time, and I couldn't be more happy to be here, especially in the new stadium. I can't wait till we beat somebody big. I've been to 2 commencements, one here and one at Harvard, and I don't remember a thing the commencement speaker said. So I will be mercifully brief, because I know what you really want, right? You want that piece of paper. What I plan to do real quickly is share a little bit of advice and give a quick commencement story, and that's about it. The story is pretty funny, actually. When I was at the Harvard graduation, we marched in, we sat at the seat, and on there was a little piece of paper, and that paper was written in Latin. And about every paragraph or so, it would say laugh, clap, or cheer. Now, nobody spoke Latin that I knew, but up comes on stage a professor of Latin and gives this fiery Latin address. And the audience doesn't know about it. I think they're being fooled to think that all the money they spent was worth it. And we're clapping and laughing and cheering as if we actually understand. So it's interesting that it's sort of an elaborate ruse at one of these great academic institutions to make people feel like they've learned something. The corollary to that story is, for some reason, my parents were on stage at graduation. Now, my father is a roofer and my mom's a homemaker, so they were not any bigwigs or dignitaries. My mom said they had the best food back there. So nobody was rude enough to kick them off the stage. So during the Latin address, my father, who speaks no Latin, starts laughing just because the guy is very animated, and no one else did. So my mom hits him on the back of the head, causing its own laugh. It's sort of hard to watch when you're a student out there. Your parents play out their normal routine. But it certainly was memorable. It's funny that my commencement at Nebraska, just like today, was simple and straightforward. At Harvard, it was sort of a lie. But that tells you something about Nebraska. People think of us as sort of a flyover state. And they almost sort of feel sorry for us for having to live here. But to be honest, we don't care. We think they're strange, right? We love our state. We love being unique. This is the kind of place where you can ask your neighbor for help, where you don't have to lock your door, where if you're driving down anywhere in rural Nebraska, they're going to give you that little finger, right? And I can assure you, if you make eye contact with someone on one of the coasts, they're going to give you a different one, right? It's just a special place. It's a place where you can be yourself, right? Where you don't have to pretend to be anyone else. The first time I went to San Francisco, it was the 1980s, and somebody ordered coffee. This is before Starbucks, and I had no idea what they were talking about. You know, it was a half-calf, double, whatever. And I think they wanted me to feel like sort of a country guy. And I thought to I said, well, we're focused on other things in Nebraska. Now I'm all about Starbucks, to be honest. But the qualities that make Nebraska special are rare, and I think that you should embrace it. Now, this speech was going to be about a little advice. Somebody mentioned Warren Buffett, so I'll use him too. But first, my kids are here, and they never listen to me, so you have to put down the iPad, son. And you now at least have to pretend to listen. Warren Buffett said, and he didn't say this to me, it's something I saw on TV. He said, do what you love, right? And you'll never work a day in your life. And I know a lot of people, and I've had these jobs where I'm looking at the clock. Is it break time yet? I can't believe it's so happy it's Friday. Can I get out of here a little bit early? I'm planning on a 4-day vacation if I use my time off just right. I don't do that in my job. I love what I do. Right? And so I think that every day is an opportunity, right? And so I would highly suggest finding something that you love. You may have to just do something to pay off some student loans to start with, but gravitate towards something you're really going to enjoy, because it'll make your life so much better. You're going to spend a huge amount of time at your work. Another piece of advice, I came from watching TV again. I was watching the commencement at Annapolis on C-SPAN, because that's how cool I am. What I was wanting to see was when they throw their all hat up at the end. You know, you always see it on TV. But there was a general or an admiral or something on there giving a speech, and he said something I thought was interesting. He said to the graduates, the most important thing you can do is choose the right life partner. He goes, who you're going to share your life with is going to matter. You know what I'm talking about, ladies. You've had the bad breakup. You're learning. Choose wisely, because that person is going to add or subtract to your life. And they can add meaningfully, or they can make it difficult. So choose wisely. And I always thought that was pretty good advice. I hope that you guys luck out. Another piece of advice I got was from a lady who I respected. And really, she passed away about a week after she gave me this advice. And so I always remembered it. And I think I was a young parent, and I think she was very concerned about my skill set in that area. And it's probably rightly so. And she asked me a question: who's the most powerful person in the world? And I was tempted to say myself, but I thought I should be humble, so I said Superman. And she said, no, actually, it's you. I didn't see that coming either. And she said, you're a parent now. And a parent is the most powerful person in the world to that child. What you do is going to impact them for the rest of their lives. The choices you make, how you treat them, what you teach them, the time you spend with them is all powerful in terms of those young people. And so I would advise you to understand that is a very powerful role. Some of you may be parents already, but the rest of you almost certainly will be. That brings me to my next piece of advice, and this is something you're going to figure out on your own anyway, but I'm going to jump the gun. When I was 26, I said something like I have done 100 times, sarcastic and sort of smart-alecky to my parents. And I realized that I had hurt my dad's feelings. It hadn't occurred to me that he had feelings until that point. And so I decided that I would change my approach to them, and it's been wonderful. You know, you reach that second stage in a relationship where you can share things, where you want to tell them about some of your accomplishments. I told them about this yesterday, and they're like, huh. But I think they're secretly proud. But odds are, guys, your parents used to be cool, right? Then they had you, and then they devoted their life to driving you around, going to your events, doing all these things. So you can see them up here. So look, you know where they are. Give them a little nod, right? And what I'm hoping, guys, is that you realize that who they are and what they mean to you, and gravitate to the relationship that you're going to have as an adult, and do it quicker rather than later, because you'll really enjoy it. The last piece of advice I have is a little bit different. You guys are all young and energetic, and you look great, by the way. And take a picture. You're never going to look better, right? Save it. I'm always showing people what I used to look like. The chances are some of you are going to change the world, right? But changing the world is a very difficult thing to do. I've been trying, and I'm always getting in trouble, and I'm always frustrated by it. Most of us are just cogs in the machine of our society, right? And that's the way we're going to live our lives. And so what you should do and what you should focus on, and this is from my mother told me this, is focus on being the best person you can be, the best man or woman. Focus on being the best, having the best family life. Focus on your community. Focus on helping your neighbor. In the end, that's all that's going to really matter. When you reach the end of your life here, and hopefully it's a long time. I heard you're going to live 24 years longer than me, I heard just recently. We've got to talk. We've got to come up with something for me. And the only thing that's going to matter to you is your family and the love and support they offer you. And so don't forget to focus on that, because that's, in the end, that's all that really matters. You guys, I'm done. I want to congratulate you for joining the Husker Nation. I think you guys are going to do great. I can't wait to see your accomplishments, and maybe one of you will be up here someday. Thank you very much, and go Big Red.